Tonight, Port Pirie's fishing ban potentially cut short, and iconic South Australian boot brand RM Williams sold to a mining billionaire.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. Port Pirie's 12-month fishing ban could be cut short, pending investigations by primary industries. The closure sending shockwaves through the community, with leaders now welcoming a catch and release program.
A 12-month fishing ban that has rocked the boat. Now changes to the closure will provide some relief to those residents eager to reel in a catch.
There's now a catch and release available for Zone 1, so previously before that there was no fishing allowed at all.
Relax that slightly to allow it for people to go out and enjoy fishing, but they must release the fish that they catch.
The Primary Industries Minister implementing a drastic fishing closure within 2 zones following a university study revealing contaminated waters. Council is welcoming some of the restrictions lifted.
And fishing is such a pastime for quite a lot of people, so yes, we welcome the new catch and release opportunity.
The member for Frome says he's not sure if the catch and release initiative will make much difference.
Because if you're a young kid and we've all looked at that recreational fishing, when you catch a fish, you want to be able to keep it and to actually eat the fish.
Investigations into the contaminated waters is underway to determine the fate of fishing in Port Pirie.
Finding 3 clear fishing days to get up there to catch the fish required to put through the testing.
The fishing ban will remain in place until research has concluded, with many local leaders eager to uncover the results.
Closure could be a very short-lived closure. Look, it's a precautionary thing, that's all it was, and we need to make certain we've got everything right.
We'll reassess and certainly do what we can to open.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Augusta's Gladstone Square was filled with protesters on Saturday, up in arms over the recent changes to gel blasters. Locals and residents gathering with signs in a bid to save their sport. The toy was recently classified as a firearm, stopping the sport in its tracks. The host of the protest aiming to raise awareness over the impacts of the changes to businesses and the activity. A Broken Hill home was completely destroyed by fire over the weekend. Crews arrived to the Sulphide Street residence on Saturday afternoon to the house fully alight. Strong winds were also blowing the blaze onto the neighbouring house, with minimal damage sustained thanks to quick-thinking firefighters. All residents evacuated the premises. No one was injured during the incident. Investigations into the cause are ongoing. Iconic South Australian boot brand RM Williams has officially been sold, bringing the company back to its national ownership. The Adelaide-based outfitter was founded by bushman Reginald Murray Williams in 1932, originally from Bellelai North near Jamestown, and had been in the hands of global private equity firm El Cateron. The shoe brand has now been bought by billionaire mining magnate Andrew Twiggy Forrest and his wife Nicola for $190 million. They're considering shifting headquarters from Sydney back to South Australia. There's an urgent plea to fill positions at the Cummins State Emergency Service, with members holding an open day over the weekend. The SES says rural decline and competition for volunteers has seen numbers plateau over recent years.
Flash floods, fires and marine and road rescues. Volunteers at the State Emergency Service respond to them all and are now on the hunt for more members.
Rural decline is one of those challenges in a lot of small country towns, and there's a big impact on the competition for volunteering.
The SES Cummins branch has seen volunteer numbers stagnate over recent years. It's now pleading with the community to fill 10 urgent positions.
You learn a lot of new things that you wouldn't have been exposed to before you joined.
The branch holding an open day in the town yesterday, showcasing its gadgets and equipment to future recruits.
The idea today is to actually try and get members of the community to come along and see what sort of an exciting career path they can have within SES.
Ben Stobar has been a volunteer for the past 4 years. While he admits it's hard and sometimes back-breaking work, he says it's a rewarding role.
I particularly enjoy the marine rescues. You go out and help people who have got themselves into a bit of strife, and generally that's a good outcome.
It's hoped the Cummins branch will transform into a specialised land search unit, utilising UTVs to access remote areas and support road and marine search and rescues.
Next Wednesday at 7 p.m, the unit will be open and we'll be having an information night there. So if people are interested, they can come and find more information then.
Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, a Whyalla P-plater caught drink driving, and construction of new $10 million buildings at John Peary Secondary School now underway. Welcome back. A 31-year-old Modbury North man was nabbed allegedly speeding and drink driving at Port Germain Friday night. Police say the driver was detected heading north on the Augusta Highway, travelling at 138 kilometres per hour in a 110 zone, while also recording a blood alcohol reading of 0.131, more than twice the legal limit. He's set to appear in court soon. Meanwhile, a 36-year-old P-plater was caught allegedly driving almost 3 times the legal alcohol limit in Whyalla over the weekend. Police stopped the Whyalla Norrie woman just after 3:30 yesterday morning for a random breath test on Jenkins Avenue. It's alleged the driver recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.140 and was issued with an instant 6-month loss of licence. Police say she was also reported for breaching her P licence conditions and will appear in court at a later date. Construction works are well and truly underway on the Joy-Baloo Bridge duplication. Overhead images show the new lanes being formed adjacent to the current bridge. The Alliance Group will be hosting community sessions to keep residents up to date with progress, one held next week, set to feature finalised plans and artists' impressions of the design. Multi-million-dollar upgrades are underway on John Peary Secondary School, set to transform the campus. Workers have been giving students up-to-date information on the project in an attempt to encourage the next generation of builders.
It's not just students working hard at this local school, with construction workers also on site, creating a hive of activity.
Very beginning of it, of a 14-month program. They were pretty excited to be doing another education job in Port Pirie.
Construction is officially underway thanks to a state government cash injection.
The project is $10.5 million, which is a very considerable amount, and we're very lucky to have been able to secure that.
Artist impressions reveal how the new buildings will transform the school, including upgraded classrooms and a drama hall. The large-scale project aiming to create jobs across the region.
It's a 2-stage project which involves a lot of locals, a lot of local materials, trying to engage as many contractors around town as we can.
Students have been kept in the loop, receiving up-to-date information from builders.
On trade-based, and then also site managers, project management, architecture, structural, get them involved in all aspects of building.
Teachers say it could encourage the next generation of workers within the community.
Very fortunate that McMahon's and our other partners are open to having our students involved in the industry pathways.
It's a long road ahead, with construction scheduled to finish next November, but teachers say celebrations are already been planned.
There's definitely going to be a grand opening and a celebration. We'll make sure that community members get an opportunity to come have a look. We're very excited for that to happen.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
New roads are being laid in tourist hotspots across Whyalla as part of Council's goal to improve road safety. The program currently focusing on areas near Point Lowley and Douglas Point following a busy cuttlefish season.
Whyalla City Council workers are busy at work behind me, starting to resheet and widen this popular cuttlefish drive.
We get a few requests from the residents in that area, but we've been constantly upgrading these roads throughout the past few years. To improve the road safety out there for not only the residents but also the visitors that are coming to the area as well.
Visitors seeing a surge in Whyalla's tourism industry during the cuttlefish season and over the past few months. Once Cuttlefish Drive is complete, works will begin down Gulfview Drive. 1 kilometre of the road will undergo resheeting, starting from the sealed section behind Douglas Point, heading towards Whyalla. And with the weather in check, there's no better time to upgrade.
Yeah, good time of year to get this done.
The works in preparation for possible future road sealing programs.
We've got our operating crew that are doing the work with a bit of contractor help to get the material out there.
Motorists are being urged to be aware of the conditions in the area and slow down when driving nearby heavy machinery.
Drive to the road conditions and be aware of the workers as well and drive slowly past them.
The roadworks are expected to be in progress for another 7 weeks. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Port Lincoln seafood companies up for prestigious state awards. And a renowned children's entertainer set to visit the Spencer Gulf for a one-night show. Hello again. Port Lincoln has continued to shine as the nation's seafood capital, with 4 companies now in the running for this year's prestigious Premier's Food Awards. Dinko Tuna Farms, Yumbar Aquaculture, The Prawn Store and Air Peninsula Seafoods all listed as finalists.
The world is your oyster when it comes to finding good seafood in Port Lincoln, with customers spoilt for choice.
It's only grown due to the demand.
4 Port Lincoln seafood companies now in the running for this year's South Australian Premier's Food and Beverage Industry Awards.
This is a next step for us.
Industry trailblazer Lucina Lucan up for the Business Excellence and Export category. She says her company's unique liquid nitrogen freezing has helped set her apart from the rest.
It's a next thing, it's a new technology that we should be able to use to keep the freshness of our tuna product.
She says the freezing technology is ideal for exporting products. Dinko Tuna Farms already reaping the benefits. Exports to China are up by 4 times from last year, according to the company.
Slowly we built up and expand the market.
The Prawn Store has also gone from leaps and bounds since opening in March. It's now in the running for the Innovation in Business Award.
Scary starting a business at the beginning of the pandemic, but rewarding. Absolutely rewarding, and it's got us to where we are now.
Air Peninsula Seafoods and the newly established Yumbar Aquaculture are also finalists. The winners will be announced next month. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meanwhile, Wyalla's Business of the Year Awards was a huge success over the weekend, with local Amy Quist taking out this year's top title. Launching the Front Porch project during the height of the pandemic, the businesswoman's out-of-the-box thinking is what secured her win.
It was the night of all nights for businesses in Whyalla, celebrating what's been a historic year.
We've got a really beautiful crowd tonight, a lot of people in the community who are really dedicated to the businesses that they run.
Hosted by Wyalla's Chamber of Commerce, the event was a chance for hard-working locals to be recognised, with more than 100 people attending the ceremony.
It's always been a wonderful, wonderful event for the City of Whyalla. And of course we had our new CEO Justin Cummins as our guest speaker.
Interacting with the crowd, Justin says he has big plans for the city's future.
I believe that a number of the roles and a number of the projects I've worked on in the past will be directly relevant for the City of Whyalla. So projects like the Yeppoon foreshore redevelopment.
And this year's Business of the Year winner awarded to a local mum, running her Bubbles of Sunshine photography business.
I feel really overwhelmed and really honoured. There was such a really strong field of nominees this year.
Having to get creative when coronavirus forced her business to shut down, Amy launched the Front Porch project, taking family photos in the front yard.
I am so thankful that 2020 has actually been a really wonderful year for myself personally and professionally.
Cube Bulk, proud sponsors of the event.
Without all these businesses and, people, there really is no town at all.
A city where new businesses are also on the rise.
Super exciting actually. So we just opened in March this year, basically when COVID just hit. So we provide the local community with hunting, camping and fishing products.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Children's entertainer Peter Coombe is hitting the road to the seafood capital for a one-night-only show. The iconic musician is set to take centre stage at the city's theatre next month, with limited tickets available. The children's star singing his best-known hits.
Well, it's the clickety game, but let's silly game. All the kids in the street, they like to do the same.
For tickets, head online to the Nautilus Arts Centre. After a tough few months, Port Augusta preschoolers will be able to celebrate Book Week this week. The Civic Library bringing back its popular story time after it was cancelled due to COVID-19 restrictions. The free session will be held on Wednesday for children under the age of 5. Stay with us after the break. We'll bring you the highs and lows from rainy weekend cricket. And Britt will join us with the weather details. Welcome back. Windy and wet conditions tarnished Port Pirie's cricket on Saturday, with both matches being cancelled. Port Germain were set to take on Wandera in the 8 o'clock match, and Southport were booked to take on Proprietary in the afternoon. Volunteers raised the alarm late morning, cancelling both games. Over in Port Augusta, the game still went ahead with slightly better conditions. Central Augusta were no match for West Augusta, winning by 3 wickets. Corn were bowled out for 146. In reply, South Augusta could only manage 100 runs. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening. It's been a mostly sunny day across the region. The day's maximum temperatures as of 3 p.m. saw Port Augusta and Woodner both reaching 24 degrees today. Port Pirie, 23. 21 was the high for Whyalla and Broken Hill. It reached a top of 20 at Clare. Kadina and Cleve both got to 19 degrees. Coffin Bay and Adelaide both 18, with Port Lincoln reaching 17 today. Taking a look at the clouds now, and from today's satellite images we can see cloud in the west and northwest of South Australia, with a trough generating showers and storms over that way. High cloud sat to our east, with cloud in the southeast and some onshore winds as well. Moving on now to tomorrow, let's start with those Gulf waters. East to southeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, but increasing later in the evening, up to about 20 knots in southern waters. Seas around 1 metre, and swells south to southwesterly also around 1 metre. It's looking to be a partly cloudy day at Port Lincoln, with a high of 21 degrees tomorrow. Cleve partly cloudy and 27. A partly cloudy day for Woodner, reaching 28. Fine and partly cloudy at Whyalla, with a top of 26 degrees. Port Augusta partly cloudy tomorrow, reaching 29 degrees. Kadina fine and 25. A partly cloudy day for Port Pirie as well, looking at a top of 27 degrees. Clare fine and 24. Broken Hill mostly sunny, also reaching a top of 24 degrees. Now let's take a look ahead to the end of the week. Fine and partly cloudy conditions expected across the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill regions on Wednesday. Woodner creeping into the 30s with a forecast high of 32 degrees. Port Augusta expected to reach a top of 31, a top of 29 degrees for Port Pirie. Whyalla, Broken Hill and Kadina all looking at tops of 27 degrees on Wednesday. Adelaide 26, Port Lincoln with a high of 21. To Thursday, looking fine and partly cloudy across the board once again, but warming up slightly, with 34 degrees the expected high for Port Augusta. It's looking to reach 33 degrees at Woodner, a top of 31 for Port Pirie. Whyalla and Broken Hill both 30, Kadina with a top of 28 degrees on Thursday, a high of 26 degrees for Adelaide, Port Lincoln reaching 21. And finally now, a quick look at Friday, with showers forecast across both the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill areas. Port Augusta and Broken Hill both looking at tops of 29 degrees, a high of 28 for Port Pirie, Kadina 27, Woodner and Whyalla both 26, Adelaide 25 and a top of 20 for Port Lincoln. And Ruby, that brings me to the end of the forecast. Back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news for this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.